You never come visit me anymore.
I'm a jerk.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I know. Guilty as charged.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to the Cool Guys Nation studio. We have a special video today. We are doing some terrain building, specifically trees. So welcome to another episode of Hobby Time. I have a special guest. His name is Bill. He is from Terrainaholic. He makes amazing terrain, and I left the door open. Now, you're here because you helped me build this beautiful room. You did all the cutting, right?
Yep.
And then I did the assembly and the painting, which was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have done it without you. So if you like the studio, you pretty much have him to thank, because if it wasn't for his guidance and his help,
he designed it.
I did design it, but you cut a lot of panels. But you promised me trees like
Ages.
7 years ago.
Ages.
7 years ago. And today he has come in to make good on the promise, but more importantly, teach me how to make my own trees so that we never run into this problem again. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to go step by step in making the trees. We're going to take a look at all of the supplies, everything that you need to do it, as well as how to do it, and a nice time lapse of us building probably somewhere between 50 and 100 trees. If you're watching this on Terrainaholic, I am Aaron from Cool Guys Nation. You can check out that YouTube, and if you're watching it on Cool Guys Nation, please check out Terrainaholic. Remember to like and subscribe. Hit that bell button so you never miss an update. If you want to take your patronage to the next level, check out our Patreon or subscribe to our newsletter. Let's get to it.
Oh, and by the way,
yes,
I'm your latest patron.
Oh, really?
I am.
You know what that means?
What does that mean?
Well, what level are you?
We're unfortunately the low level.
There's your dice.
Yay!
You actually get your dice.
Yeah, took me 7 years. Oh.
I think you already have some dice, but awesome. By the way, if you're a patron and you haven't received your dice or your cups, feel free to shoot me a letter and I'll make sure that I get them out to you right away. So to start off, this is what we're going to be making, these beautiful trees, and we're going to go over all the supplies that you need to make these trees right now. Alright, taking a look at the supplies that we need, we're going to start with the tree itself.
Okay, these are Christmas trees. Now, when you get Christmas trees, there's a very important thing.
Christmas tree. Let's just be
big, gigantic Christmas trees. When you get these is right after Christmas. Go to like a Goodwill or a Salvation Army. There are two types. There are these, which is what you want, and there's just raggedy ones. You don't want those. They don't make good trees.
You buy a Christmas tree after Christmas, like right now.
Yep, and then you
clip it off.
Clip it off.
And you're going to have tons and tons of these of various sizes. And it's artificial tree, by the way. Don't take a tree from someone's garbage. That's a real tree. That ain't going to work. Next, we're going to need poker chips.
Yep. And we chamfer all the edges of them. You don't have to do that. I just do that so my bases look a little bit more realistic.
Yep, and we're going to be using the poker chips for bases.
Yep.
And we're going to go through basing and all of that.
Yep.
You also need beads.
Pony beads. Yep. And you want to get the same color of wood. You can paint them. It's just one step that makes it a little bit easier for you.
Yep. So we've got brown pony beads. Next, you're going to need caffeine, of course.
Yep.
So I got my McCafe. You got your Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Those are both very important. We're also going to need tacky glue or white glue.
Mm-hmm.
Going to need blended turf from Woodland Scenic. Some green spray paint. You are using Rust-Oleum. Which green is it? Satin.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a matte varnish.
That'd be it.
That's pretty much it. You're also going to need a glove, a pair of clippers, a pair of scissors, and we are using these boxes in order to help keep everything clean. And then for our detail paint, we have a couple shades of green. It really doesn't matter what color, so long as you have a dark to light. We're using 3 different colors, and hot glue.
That's it.
And that's pretty much everything that we need for this project. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do one tree following the steps, and then Bill and I are going to convert this entire pile into something like that, which is going to be fantastic. We'll see how long it takes.
Yup. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the trees need to be a little bit more pointed than they come. So what we're going to do is, taking our scissors, we are going to trim the tree
about every 45 degrees
until we get a nice point going all the way up to the top. And we're doing it over a garbage can so we don't make a huge mess.
Because you're going to get a bunch of those. Then the next thing you want to do, just tear off about 2 to 4 millimeters, ½ inch worth, because that's going to fit in the bead. Perfect. So that's the first step.
Next, we're going to make a sandy base, and this is pretty simple. If you've ever based, you take some white glue, slather it on top, And then using a garbage paintbrush, we're going to spread it out so it's nice and thin, covering the whole thing. Make sure to get a lot on your fingers.
Extra. And
Cover
then
it
you
with
just
sand.
cover
Now, do you shake them immediately or do you let them dry?
it. I normally let them dry.
Okay, so we're going to let it dry before we shake. Now, fortunately, I believe we have one that's already done. So this is what it looks like when it's done. A nice thick coat of sand. Now, are you using any particular sand? It looks like you're not using a fine sand.
I use
sand?
like a medium grade. It's I think it was playground sand. I got it years ago, like literally like 50-pound bag. I will die before I go through all the sand.
Yeah. So for a lot of times on miniatures, people will get fine sand or they'll sift their sand.
You
but
want a
for
more
bases,
gritty sand
they want
if
gritty
you
sand.
if
Yeah.
you want it to look like grass.
Yep. In the studio, we have a spray booth, which is really important because spray paint can be hazardous for your health. It is very loud, so I'm going to turn the spray booth on, and then we're going to spray it. But it's pretty simple. You're just getting a nice coat of green down. Next step is to let that dry. Now, if you're making a whole bunch of these, what you should actually do is get as many bases as you want done and spray paint them all at the same time, not one at a time. And so we have already done 40 bases, which we have here, and we're going to move on to the next step. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to put down the bead as a place to fasten our tree. We're going to be doing that with hot glue.
Yep.
So just add a little bit of hot glue to one side of the bead and stick it in the middle. Now, hot glue fortunately dries really quick. If you are worried about hot glue, of course you can use super glue or white glue, but hot glue is probably fine for this sort of project.
And then I'm gonna run a bead around the base, just to make sure it stays locked in. So that's all you need to do.
So we're going to use some burnt umber,
Yep.
and we're just going to cover up a little bit of the hot glue that we put on.
Right. What this will do is this will also give the impression of roots going down into the ground.
Trees have roots. Next, we're going to do a little bit of dry brushing to add some flavor to our base, and we're going to be using a light green.
Ooh, got a little bit of brown there. That's fine.
And of course, you can also flock your bases or add static grass or take
Oh,
it
definitely, yeah.
take it to whatever level you want to take it to. We are just doing a little bit of dry brushing because we are going to be making freaking 100 or so trees.
A lot.
Next step, we're going back to the spray booth and we're going to be using our forest green spray paint to spray the whole tree. And you are wearing a glove. Let me turn the spray booth on.
Okay. Paint is glue. It's like it's colored glue essentially. So instead of a separate step of me like spraying on an adhesive glue, I just go right to
You're just flocking straight onto the tree.
onto the tree. Yep.
Which is
And-
amazing. And then shake it off.
Yep.
And it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It looks so good.
pretty.
And then we let that dry. Next, we are going to be clear coating matte in order to make sure that all of our flock adheres nicely, but we don't want to use gloss because otherwise it'll look like you have wet trees. So our base has been dry brushed. Now remember, if you want to add more detail, you can dry brush different colors. You can do any sort of basing that you want to do. We're keeping ours pretty simple today. And we're simply going to hot glue the tree into our base.
So what I do is usually have a drip that's on the end. I usually try and take that drip
And get it into the hole.
and get it into the hole, because when I go to push this down, it's going to take that glue down with it. And then you want to hold on to the, I use it on high temp just so it's got better adhesion. So it might take up to 30 seconds for it to solidify.
And there we have it. We have some trees. We'll take some detailed shots of everything once it's done. I might add some stuff to some of the bases that we can take a look at. But now we move into a time lapse of us doing a lot of trees.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you have it, everybody. We have made just about 100 trees in an afternoon today. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Obviously, if you're not going to make 100 trees, it'll take less than 5 hours. But you can see they do come out really nice, and you can group them together. And now we have plenty of trees to do almost whatever we want. This is fantastic. I don't know what to say. Remember to check out Terrainaholic on YouTube. What's your eBay?
We sell under Scuzime, Scuzime,
On eBay.
on eBay. Yep.
Yep, so Scuzime on eBay. If you want to check out his stuff, he has amazing terrain. We use a bunch of it in studio. We're going to be using more. I'm so happy to have my trees. Remember to like and subscribe to both channels, Terrainaholic and Cool Guys Nation. Hit that bell button so you never miss an update. If you want to take your patronage to the next level, check out our Patreon, link in the notes below, or check out our website at coolguysnation.com, where you can sign up for our newsletter if you don't want to follow us on Patreon. Until next time, that has been an episode of Hobby Top, how to make amazing looking pine forest trees, easy, simple, and cheap. Once again, thank you so much.
You are welcome.